Hi, I'm Dr. Michele Fiala, oboe professor at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. Welcome to my E-Oboe lesson series. Today's E-Oboe lesson is about college auditions. This is a bit of a divergence from my previous E-Oboe lesson videos, which had to do with oboe technique. Nevertheless, I think this is an important topic that many students struggle with. These tips apply not only to college auditions, but also to all-state auditions, solo and ensemble preparation, summer festival auditions, and many other things you'll do in your musical life. Most students give their primary attention when preparing for an audition to the solo pieces. Solo pieces are one important component of a college audition. You should contact the individual professor to find out what each university wants in solo pieces, but for instance, for an undergraduate auditioning at Ohio University, we ask for at least one movement from 2 contrasting solo pieces. You can talk to your teacher or to the university professor about what contrasting means. Both we would like to hear you play fast and slow, but we would also like to hear you play in different styles, like for instance something from the Baroque period and something more contemporary would work well. If you need repertoire suggestions, speak to your private teacher or contact me or contact any other university professor who's very happy to help with suggestions. One aspect of auditions that's often neglected is scale practice. We like to ask scales, all of the major scales and any minor scales that a student would know, and I recommend that you practice your scales every single day so that they are routine and that they are really good and clean when you get to the audition. They will also help you with your sight reading ability, and they'll help you with preparing pieces, which have many scalar runs in them. So I recommend you practice your scales in this way. Full range. For instance, if I was going to play the G major scale, for a high school, your top note might be a D or an E flat. And the bottom note on the oboe, of course, is B flat, which isn't in all the scales, so it might be B natural or B flat. So if you would practice a scale, for instance, I'm going to play a G major scale all the way up to the high D, all the way down to the low B, and back to G. If you practice your scales in this way every day, you'll practice your upper register and your lower register and make sure that all notes are equally good for you in oboe playing, and you'll be ready for the scales that are asked in your audition. Another aspect of auditioning that many students find intimidating is sight reading. Sight reading is an important component of the audition, and you can practice this. Every single day, pick just 2 or 3 lines of music, whether it's out of an etude book or a collection of solos, or a book, for instance, this Oboe Sight Reading and Oboe Sight Reading 2 are very nice collections. There are other collections that are designed just for sight reading, and if you pick this every day, you pick 2 or 3 lines and you give yourself 30 seconds to look at it, to look for accidentals, to look for key signatures, and look for tricky rhythms, and then you play it straight through. You might even record it to make sure you don't stop at all. You play it straight through and then give yourself some feedback on how you did. Notice if you tend to make more rhythmic mistakes or if you tend to make more note mistakes. Notice if you take it too fast, which students often do, and you could slow down your sight reading so that you can process everything. And then after you've evaluated, you can go back and practice and make sure that you wouldn't make the same mistakes if you saw, for instance, a similar rhythm on your sight reading in the audition. So every day make this a very quick component of your practicing, and then you'll feel more comfortable with the sight reading. You can often get a lesson with the professor, and it's good to ask. For instance, I give a complimentary lesson along with the audition so that we can see how we would work together, and it's worth it if whether you ask the professor what they would charge, or if they do it complimentary for the first lesson. It varies from person to person, but it's very much worthwhile to see what it would be like to study at that school, and to even sit in with ensembles and to observe classes. Remember, we are evaluating you as a prospective student, and you're also evaluating the quality of education you would get with us. One thing is that it's good to be very professional and to dress nicely for your audition, to smile to everyone, to introduce yourself and shake hands is very nice. And we will often take some time to ask you questions about yourself and your background in the audition. And it's not to make you more nervous or uncomfortable, but rather just to get to know you a little bit. We love our jobs, we love teaching, and we are excited to help students, and we want to make sure that you're the kind of student that would really fit well with our program, that we could really help, and that you would get good benefit out of being in school here. So just remember that we're all here to be supportive and that we enjoy hearing. We don't expect perfect playing from auditionees, but we like to hear good playing with personality. So put a little bit of yourself and your personality into this. I hope these tips will help you in your upcoming auditions. I encourage you also to perform mock auditions for your friends and families, your band directors and your private teachers, and to record yourself often and listen to it in practicing. Putting yourself in these situations where you might get a little nervous will help you prepare for being nervous in the audition situation, which is a normal reaction to auditions. And yet you can learn to overcome that and to use that energy in a positive way and be excited about the audition experience. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me through the ohio.edu/music website. I'd be happy to talk to you more about auditioning, and I hope that you find these tips helpful. Thank you, and please join me for our next E-Oboe lesson.